Hey everybody, we are going to try and rapid fire some printers because we found out that on Sunday we're going in to have our baby. So let's see if we can do this. We got the K1C right here, and that box right there is the K1 Max. And today, after dealing with Creality's pre-order fiasco, we somehow were able to get our hands on the K2 Plus, which should be coming to us sometime in September. So about the K, I have the K1. I've been really happy with my K1. Main reason we picked up the K1C is to figure out what upgrades and stuff we can do for this, and also see if we can make our K1 doors fit on this machine. Since one of our customers bought one, he said he was able to make it work, but it wasn't quite a perfect fit. So we might have to have a slight revision for this printer. And I do have my wireless mic on tours in the background, but we had a call come in, so I pulled him in the back, and he'll pop back in once we're done. And look at it, he's been laying down this whole time. And now that I'm talking to the computer, come on. Now he wants attention. Yeah. You're so needy. Yeah. You're a little Velcro dog. But hopefully the audio is pretty good. I'm actually using a new lapel mic, same wireless pack, but new lapel mic. Tor and I have the same ones. And I know people like to get good quality audio while we're doing a stream and moving around with the printer. The wireless pack is great. So hopefully that plays nice. All right. So we're going to go through this. It's all sealed. I'm going to go ahead and add my other camera here. We're going to do this kind of setup and switch these up. And you can see here, she is all sealed, never open. And I'm glad to see Creality. Here we go. Still sealed. I'm glad to see that Creality, keeping with tradition, has still kept the Afraid of Wet on the box. This is from like, I thought for sure at some point they were going to fix that and not have the English on there, but it's still there. So let's get this sucker open. I think I'm going to do what I did last time, which is I'll open it, cut the tape here, put it on the floor, and then yank it out of the box. And we're going to see how this does. Now, these are pretty quick setup printers. There's directions on the top here. They show you how to take it out. So it's packed very well. Here we go. Unpacking steps. They show you how to unpack it. I'm just going to look here. So basically remove all the packing material, foam, pull it out, and it says you got to take the power cord, air filter, cartridge assembly, move the chain to one side directed by the arrow. So I'm assuming we push it back, and then pull the foam out of the inside here. And yeah, so not much assembly with these. Don't blow out the glass door. Well, I would hope we don't do it on this stream, but given how easily our K1 door, our original K1 door broke, I do not feel comfortable running any glass doors on my printers. So that's why we have our tough panel. So we have them for the Bamboo X1 and P1 series. So if you have Bamboo X1 or P1, if you have the P1P that didn't come with the door, you will need Bamboo's like factory door, like the hinges, but we have new panels for both of them that are not glass. Now, this was ordered directly from Creality's site. Now, the first thing I'm noticing is it has the same style feet that come with the K1, except they're one piece. This is on the original K1, the little feet, these came with this, and they were like just snapped onto the stock feet. So it looks like they replaced that. And seeing as we have the K1, I want to kind of compare what this is to the K1 versus the K1C. Because as far as I know, the main difference is it comes with a slightly nicer hot end. It comes with their camera pre-installed. I did buy Creality's camera for our K1, and it does work well. So we're gonna be going through this whole thing. Now, I'm curious what the story is going to be with the door, if we're going to have to do a completely different design, or if there's just something else we're missing with the installation on it that will prevent us from using the K1 door revision that we have on the K1C, because it looks very similar. The whole printer looks very similar. Like at a glance, I don't think you could really easily tell a K1 from a K1C unless you had them side by side and knew what to look for. So this tape is sticking here. There's tons of stuff to peel. Oh yeah. So let's go ahead and get all the peely goodness done. Woo! We got the power switch over here. So on the left side, we got the power switch. It is set to 230. So I'm going to go ahead and switch that over to 115. I'm just reaching here with some tweezers. Switch that over to 115 because we're in the US. I'm assuming this has the same power supply. They still have the same crappy rear spool holder on here, which I will be changing. I printed a mod for mine where you move the filament sensor. Whoop, you move the filament sensor and the spool holder onto this side. So this still has the blower fan like the K1. The hot end looks very similar. Now I know there's two versions that Microswiss made for these hot ends. Oh, whoever assembled this door caught the pull tape on here. So I'm gonna have to unscrew this a little bit to loosen this up so I can get the pull tape out. I probably got a Friday unit. They were in a hurry to get out of there. All right. Let's see. There we go. It was just stuck behind there. Get that screwed back on. Also, lower the camera slightly. There we go. Sorry. I wonder, is there a way for me to put us in the corner? There we go. That's better. There's like different layouts in Streamlabs. I think we can do custom layouts too, because I'd rather have it kind of with us in the bottom right-hand corner. Let me see. Do we have a bottom right? We do not have a bottom right-hand corner. I'll have to play with that. We'll just deal with this now. It's like harder if you go slow. Or if you go fast, it releases. All right. So this is just a packing material. I'm assuming there's stuff in here. It sounds like, yeah, there is. Okay. So we got our accessory pack. We've got a nice little roll of PLA. Thank you for putting a roll in here, Creality, instead of that, sample filament that's a pain in the ass. Got the LCD, got the spool holder, and that's all she wrote for that. All right. So inside here, oh, there's more peelies. Got the glass door cover. Is there anything I didn't peel? I do not see that. All right. Let's see what's in their little package here. Quick install guide. So I'm assuming we have to pop the, let's see, unbox it. They want you to hook the LCD up, the fan here, door, and then the fan. Install the air filter guard. So that goes on the rear. And then we also want to attach the screen, and that's about it aside from the there. Oh, this is funny. You see this? For a different user experience in loading resin, you mean filament, you can use a supply G-code file to print the material barrel holder and then install it on the side of the machine. So they know that it sucks. They give you a different thing. They're talking about the cover. Attach the buffer strip to the inner edge of the top cover. The buffer strip. This wasn't on the original one. All right, let's go through. So I'm going to peel the build surface thing here. There are screws here. Did it mention undoing the screws? Did I skip over that? Oh, it's on the next page. So you got to take the 3 screws out here on the bed. I remember doing that on the original K1. All right, so let's get the handle on. Which is right here in the little baggie. Oh, and this is nice. They give you the installation diagram right there. So screws, washers, little metal clamp, and then the handle itself. Easy enough. I wonder why they don't put this out at the factory. Seems like such a weird thing to not put on. I can't remember if the bamboo has you put them on or not. All right, so I'm putting little bushings in here. And then this goes on the door right here. My head's covering it, but it goes on the door here. Bushings through. Put one of the screws through and then screw the handle in. All right, well, that other bushing fell out. Luckily, it fell on the fell on the table here. All right, let's see. I see Tor popping in. I'm assuming his phone call is over. He's not up on screen yet, though. All right. Got the door handle installed here. I'm just going to tighten this other one up. Okay. We got to undo the screws on the inside, so there's one in each corner, or one on the two corners and one in the back by the lead screw. This just holds the bed down while it's in transit. Kind of a pain to get out of there. There's one. Take the arrow off. Here's two. Oh, come on. Now, I will say, I did notice that they changed the bed design slightly. They got like this cover up in the front that says K1C. And the bed plate, it looks like it's the same as the K1, except there's a little nozzle wipe thingamahoozit on here. That's interesting. I wonder if you can like peel that off and put on another plate. See that? Come on, focus. Don't be a Logitech camera. Sony, you're letting me down here. There we go. Let me turn my fill light on. Maybe that'll help it. Let's see. There you go. So they tell you to use glue, but that's got a little wiping thing on the back. All right, we got one more screw on the inside to take off. Push the head out of the way. Okay. So we got that. What do I got left? I got the screen. We got to put the filter on. The little carbon filter. I wonder how much this will actually make a difference. You can actually see the pellets in there. All right. Filters on. They're probably like, man, this is another consumable we can sell people. And then we need the spool holder. We got the screen in here. I wonder what's in this box. We didn't open this box up. Oh, we got the glue stick and the tools. So we got the glue. Whoop. They give you extra screws in here for something. Oh, and hey, more blue snips. It's just what I need in my life. More blue snips. What are those extra screws for? There's 3 or 4 M3 screws. I'm looking here. The screen just slides on like the K1. The buffer strip. What is the buffer strip? Where is the buffer strip? Where is the buffer strip? Did I miss it? Is it in one of the boxes? Oh, here it is. The buffer strip. I don't know what that is for. Why they would have that on the lid. Extra screws for the side mount? Maybe? It doesn't mention it in here. Oh, wait, hang on. It's very small. Use M3 by 12 screws. What are those screws they gave me? It said on the package. So it says the M18 screw M3 by 12, but there's only one M3 by 12 in here. So I don't know. Pull you in. You should be able to pull in.
It wasn't giving me. It doesn't give me any commands because I think we're both signed in on the same account. But I think the buffer strip is so it doesn't scratch up, like Steve said, so it doesn't scratch up the lid, as well as when it's like banging on it, it's not as loud.
Oh, okay. So according to this, it says we orient it like this, and then the buffer strip goes here, which means it would be on the left. Yeah. So if I oriented this, they're telling me put it here, which means it will be on the left side of the printer. I guess that's where the cable chain would hit. It's interesting. It's like a rubber material. It's not. I thought it was gonna be foam. It's like rubber. I don't think the K1 had that, did it?
Yeah, this is supposed to be more of an upgrade, like an anti-scratch guard and like a deadening for the sound.
Weird.
So it's not clacking against the lid. Audio sounds great. Well, yeah, I think I fixed the issue with OBS.
It's a tiny bit crooked, but I think it'll work. That's what she said. Okay, so lid's on. I just got to do the screen. Already released the bed, so just pop the screen on and give it power, and we'll be in business. I got to grab my power cord from the back here. Oh, apparently it's AWOL. Usually I have one plugged in here all the time. It's the little IEC plug, so I can just reach over and grab a power cord, but apparently it got moved at some point. Okay. All right. So I'm going to plug it in. I'm not going to turn it on yet because the screen's not connected. Look at that. We're only 19 minutes in and we're almost done putting the printer together.
There may actually be rooting this stream.
Kids these days don't know the pain that printers used to make you go through. Like, do you know how long it would take to build an ANET A8? That was like hours.
It took me probably 19 hours or so to do the Voron.
Yeah, the ANET A8, like you had to peel, not only that, you had to peel all the coverings off all the acrylic. I will say here, they do have a note on the screen. You can't see it because our heads are in the way. They do have a note on the screen. I'll just show you guys the label. Change the power switch. This is good. Check that the 3 platform board fixing screws are removed to avoid damage. So good. I like seeing stuff like this. That means they're learning. They're learning what users do.
It gives me hope for the K2.
Yeah, the K2 I think is going to be good. I mean, the K1 I really liked, aside from the early ones having extruder issues, which, to be fair, they did send me out the new extruder when I had one with the affected one. So, let's see. She's booting up. Maybe we'll root it. What do you think? I've been enjoying my rooted K1. You have it downstairs in my other office, and it's been a solid machine. I do have the TL hot end on there. The stock one got a really bad clog.
From using it at Rocky
Mountain. Oh, it tells you again. Here, look at it. Remove this 3 screws. Okay, we already did that. Please keep the blue cube in the diagram clear of debris. So they're telling you the whole build area, and hit OK. I'm going to assign my life way to the Chinese. I am going to put on the network because we are going to root it. I think we can get away with rooting it. Can't see my password. Hang on.
No password for you, chat. You can't go over to Tim's and hang on his networks. Lasso, hush. Demon mods, it's not. Tim, did your mic turn off? Yeah, we don't hear you. See, this is why it's good to have me on stream. We don't hear you at all. Like, I don't even see your voice activating on the box.
Hello, hello. Can you hear me now?
There we go.
Yeah. Oh, so I was saying I'm putting the glue on the bed where I'm pretty sure it's going to print.
Their glue. Ew. Hey, Judgy.
Okay, so it's doing a nozzle heat, bed heat, heat break fan, aka cold end fan, and then mainboard fan. Now it's doing input shaping. And then it's going to do auto leveling. Do not touch the printer during the self-check. I'm touching it right now.
William, those are for the side-mounted spool holder.
You know, I'm looking at this, and I'm wondering if the reason... I think they changed the hinges slightly, because on the regular K1, they had... Like, the hinges didn't have, like, this little tab here in the corner. You see this? They didn't have this little tab here. If my camera would focus, that'd be great. They didn't have like this little tab. So if we look where it rotates, I don't think it had the little tab there. I think it was just blank.
Closing gaps is nice though.
Well, I mean, it's not gonna make that big of a difference for ABS. The other one works great.
Yeah.
I've done a lot of ABS and ASA. I'm just looking on here. They do have, they added like a little flipper, like a little half-ass seal here that is like really paper thin.
I mean, something's better than just having a big old gap, but still, it's not necessarily needed for like ABS. But when you're printing higher temp materials, like.
So I'm looking at this, and like these the corners on this glass are not cut very well. Like, hang on.
Focus.
You see, it's at a 45.
Yeah.
It's not like.
And it looks a little chipped, unless that's just.
Yeah, look at that. Like, but the reason I mention this is may seem nitpicky from appearance, but however, that could affect the integrity of the glass.
Once we have our doors done for it, we should do a brake test.
Yeah, that'd be kind of funny. I mean, because once we have our doors for it, I'm not going to care about the glass one. I don't like how dark they are. I think, honestly, other than the added like peace of mind that if it breaks, it's not sending glass everywhere, I do like how clear the new doors we have are. So, because it like lets you check the printer easier just by looking at it. It left some residue on my printer. Tape.
Disgusting.
It's vibrating right now. Let's see. Yeah, so she's out of the box. I'm looking at here. I'll see if I can share the interface here. Window. Here, while we're waiting for that to go, here's the interface. Ooh, is there like a thing over the camera? Oh, there it is. I was like, damn. I was like, that camera looks like dog shit.
Oh,
because there we go.
There we go. Oh yeah, that looks so much better. Wow.
I will say the Creality cameras are way better than Bamboo's, like, which I'm shocked by because they're only like $20-something, $25.
Sherry says,
like,
to come back, just say Uncle Jesse 3 times. And
oh
just
no,
chatter.
I'm good.
It's like we need the door to make the new door, just to verify fitment and sizing.
Well, it's going. I might ask Jordan to bring me out the K1 door just to see how close it is. I'm gonna message him. I just messaged him. USPS just picked up too.
I was just opening up the cameras to see.
Says it's doing input shaping, but I don't hear or feel anything.
Here, I'm gonna scare Jordan real quick.
You're gonna scare Jordan?
Again.
You know, we need him around. I need him to run the shop while we're gonna be at the hospital for a few days, okay? Oh, it's doing stuff now. I will say, look at, they do have, does that work? It's probably a command that gets queued up. I'll have him bring a plate too as well.
K1 door and plate?
Yep. I'll probably put a micro Swiss on this. Do we still have any of the Triangle Lab hot ends left for the K1 and K1 Max? I'm trying to remember.
I'll open up.
I'll check our site while this is going. Yeah, so the command is definitely queued up. If you look here, logo, filament base, logo, filament, barrel base, hyper PLA, delta. Oh, there's 2 different ones. They do have a benchy pre-sliced.
I just saw him look up at the sky. And he's checking his phone.
Steve says, "Are you planning on TH30 clear version? You think one of the round is fine?" I think we've already talked about this. We're focusing on basically making really good configs to add on, and I am going to be forking the root script for the KE and the Ender 3 V3 KE, the K1, K1C, K1 Max, and make our own, because the problem is, we make a video and they then change it, and everybody's leaving comments on the video. Oh my God, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It changed. And I really don't feel like reshooting videos all the time.
Yes, there is the T-Labs kits for the K1, K1 Max.
Yeah, we have some of those left. We're switching over exclusively to Micro Swiss because they sell better. I think they're both fine kits. I just don't know why people were not jumping on those. But I see Bagwoods said the Triangle Lab has made a huge difference in print quality in K1s. Yeah, I mean, my biggest thing is while we were at Rocky Mountain Rep Fest, we wanted to run abrasive through, and we didn't have anything other than the brass nozzle on our K1. And I actually went over to the Micro Swiss booth and bought one of their steel nozzles, and the Triangle Lab one takes standard MK8 nozzles, and I was able to just swap it out. So if you guys have a K1 or a K1 Max, I don't think it'll work on the K1C, but K1 or K1 Max, we do still have them, and they're $30. We're basically selling these at cost because their MSRP on those is $50. They weren't too happy when I marked them down, but whatever.
Jordan's on his way in.
Is he? Okay, I gotta make sure the service door is unlocked. Service door. It is locked. We're gonna unlock that. It's still calibrating. It's doing auto leveling, so probably another 5 minutes. I do kind of want to. I think we could probably snake our AVL cable like along the cable chain. I kind of want to put a micro, or not a mic, call it the micro. It's what we used to call it when it was just the pros. I kind of want to put the NG8 on mine and only use the bed for the auto Z offset, because we can definitely probe a lot faster than these can.
I've been trying to figure out a pin to use for the Solvol.
Hang on one second. Remo, stop attacking him. Wrong door. The K1 door.
So you said 235 by 235.
The K1 door. The K1 door. Did I type X1? Oh yeah, K1.
K1. I said K1 on the system.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, they're 1 letter off.
Yeah.
But I got our plate. Whee! All right, I'll hide this on stream. Yeah, got our Easy Flicks. We're going to do the test print on their plate, though. And it's doing the auto level now. Yeah, so, I was about to see how the door fit up, but I don't have the right door yet. Comment, do you have a ball? Do you have a ball? Come here.
I don't know why it would be blocked Demon mods.
He's got a ball.
Blocked by the cloud provider I use, NordVPN.
I have noticed, because we use Cloudflare, I have noticed that Cloudflare does tend to restrict some VPNs, because I use Proton VPN for testing, and when I'm traveling or out of the office, I'll connect to that just to encrypt my connection, especially if I'm on a random Wi-Fi I don't control. Yeah, they do notice that they do kill any connections that are not going out to a regular ISP. Why is this not letting me type? I tried sending. It won't let me send the message. Hang on, I'm gonna reload really quick. Reload Streamlab.
Hi, chat. I'm back.
All right, there we go. We're back. I don't know why I kicked you out too.
We're on the same account right now.
Oh,
you have control.
Oh, you should. You should be using the other. I'm surprised it lets both people be in.
Yeah, I tried to sign out, but it's like, hey, you're live. You shouldn't go offline while you're live. I was like, I don't want to sign Tim out.
Okay, so the screw holes line up. The handle lines up. I'm really curious to know why that one guy said it. These look almost the same.
Here, flip it.
Wait. No, this is the right way. We put the paper or the sticker.
Oh yeah, you can't flip that one.
Yeah, you can't flip it. I mean, you can, but it's not gonna work.
Yeah.
If you flipped it this or you flipped it this way, it's kind of obvious which way this goes. Let's see.
Because I know in like the X1 door, you could probably flip it upside down and.
I'm gonna see right now. I'm gonna take this off. It's only 4 screws.
And you're printing PLA anyways, so you don't need the door.
Yeah. Well, let me see. I'm screwing right now. Yeah. You want to jump in? The computer out there has a camera and stuff. All right, let's see. I'm going to take this off. Let's see. I know we don't use the little bushings on here. These should be, we don't use the little bushings, just the screws. Which is also nice because it gives us some play in case the hinges are not perfectly aligned. Now, it's very possible that guy was just confused, but we're going to find out right now. It's one of the reasons I bought the K1C was to test fitment of the doors.
And I think he was the only person who mentioned anything about it.
Yeah. Well, because I was cross-referencing on the designs, and he said it was slightly off. I'm looking here. So I think I see what he was talking about. So the hinge sits a little bit closer on one of the sides. So basically, Everything else is good except the cutout at the bottom here. So it is close. So they made the other door slightly shorter, is what it looks like. Which that's kind of annoying that they have a separate SKU, even though they probably could use the same damn door. And there's no like adjustment. We could probably do just a revision that would fit both machines. Yeah, because the door is just a hair shorter. Just literally, we're talking like a millimeter off of being able to fit. Literally like a millimeter. And it might even be, I'm looking at here, it might even be this up here. I think because he told me something about the hinges.
Could we elongate the screw holes and maybe shorten it slightly?
No, because it doesn't fit in between the hinges. So if I have it on there, it doesn't fit in between the hinges. So it's like the distance, this needs to come in a little bit on either side, which in that case, we could use the door. We could just have like a version 2 that would fit in both.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
As long as I don't move the screw holes, I'm looking here, if I were to file that down a little bit, which is what I think he told me.
Thanks, Roger.
The screw holes do line up. So I'm wondering too, like if we could just, I'm trying to think if I have a clean way to modify these.
Bart, I have not.
I'm just looking here.
I actually messaged Silval this morning about stuff.
I'll mess with it later. All right, we're gonna load up the filament and do a print here. That is really frustrating that they literally modified it just ever so slightly so it doesn't fit. The design choices that Creality makes are just baffle me sometimes. I'm gonna check our bed plate here. Okay, I thought the screen wasn't coming back on. I was a little worried. All right, let's see. Bed plate work on here. Yeah, it's 235. A lot of work.
Yeah, Creality does love to make minor changes for no apparent reason.
Yep. That would be one of them. Yeah, so let's see here. I'm going to load up the filament, and then we're going to run the benchy and see how that comes out. All right. I do want to do some testing on, the quote high-speed PLAs, because I've been hearing that while they do print faster, the temp resistance is a lot lower on them, which would make sense if it allows for higher flow. That would mean it's able to be melted quicker and have a lower melting point than regular PLA.
Yeah.
Or if it's just marketing gimmicks. I'm not sure. Make sure the extruder is in the lock position. Okay, by default is in the lock position. All right, so I'm going to turn this. And I'm going to go to the menu here. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to set this to like 230, extrude. And I have the filament pushed in. Thank you, Roger.
Yeah, I'm not sure why
we actually just hit 50 members on YouTube, which is awesome.
Hell yeah.
Because YouTube does not pay much. Over 80% of what we get from doing YouTube comes from the channel members, not ads. So even though we do have it, the only reason I have the ads enabled on the video is because I found that if we don't, YouTube doesn't promote the video, which is really annoying. So I'm sorry if you guys have to watch ads, but we want people to see the videos, and it makes sense. YouTube's like, well, we're not running ads. Why would we recommend a video that we can't make money on? And this printer, for the record, unlike a lot of channels that get stuff for free, we purchased this ourselves. So regardless if we get a printer for free or not, I am very fair about what we do, and you don't have to worry about us being scared to piss off the manufacturers because I don't care whether they give us a printer for free or we buy it. I'm giving you guys a fair opinion on it. So that screen timeout is really, really short. Come on,
Is that a little
extrude.
Android logo in the left?
It kind of looks Android-y. Error history. Oh yeah, do they have? Is this have? Oh, look at this has. This has
The root access.
root access by default. I'm gonna see. Can you look up and see what? Oh wait, I'm on the Wi-Fi, so it can check. Yeah, we're on the latest version. Oh man, it just bukakied the fan here. I just look at it, just I don't even know how the hell that happened. Just squirted it all over the fan. Oh dear God. And now we're demonetized. Okay, we're gonna run a benchy. I'm telling it to print benchy. We'll let it run its calibration. It says 16 minutes. So we're gonna see from the time it actually starts printing how long it takes. And I'm using their hyper PLA sample.
From what I've seen a lot of the streams going around, they're really pushing that or hyper speed PLA.
Yeah.
Like
Here's my thing.
Print with their printer, you have to use this filament with it. It's like
really?
Polymaker. No.
Yeah, Polymaker is our high speed. I am going to order some because we don't carry their high speed stuff. I do want to see because there has to be a trade off. You can't get faster melting without sacrificing something. I am probably, you know what I'm going to do? This will make it easy to make a revision for this. I'm just going to file this down a little bit on each side. I got a nice file set in the garage. And then I'll take the measurements and I'll double check that after this is modified, it fits the K1 still. If it does, then we'll just have a version 2 of this panel, which will work for the K1 and the K1C, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it should just be a slight extrude to pull that down.
Yeah. Well, and actually, I'll go get my file now because the door is off. And if somebody wants to buy one for their K1C and they don't mind filing it a little bit, they can just get one now.
Exactly.
But I have a nice file set in my garage here. Let me grab it. Got a nice set of hand files here. For science, okay? So I'm going to take a little off of each side. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make this even more scientific. I'm just going to go ahead and mark this just a little bit.
Oh, here, I'll take that out of stock.
Yeah, I'll take that out of stock. So I'm just marking a little bit at each end here, and I'm going to file that much off because that's what it looks like it's going to take to get it to fit this printer because the screw holes look like they're in the same spot. So that's all we're talking. That's not much different, just maybe a millimeter. So while that's going,
I know it's a protective covering for the door, but I keep thinking it's made correctly. Yeah.
this is all I'm doing. Got a square file or a rectangular file. Let me know if this is annoying and I'll mute my mic while I'm doing this. The video broadcast might be tuning it out.
It's cutting out most of it.
Okay. All right, let's see. When I'm about halfway down into my mark almost on this side, I'm going to do the same for the other one. Because you can always take more off. You can't add it back on.
Exactly. All right. One of those. And you have the Ender 3 notch plate.
The 235 notch. All right, so let's see if that fits. We're just going to take a little off until we find it fits. Oh, we're so close. We are so close. Or the screw holes line up. Screw holes line up good on the bottom. Take a little more off the top. So close. Little by little.
Is there any
Oh.
sound difference from going from
Oh.
glass to acrylic?
There shouldn't be. Should be
Yeah, there
about the
shouldn't
same.
be.
Okay. Look at that.
Beautiful.
It fits now. So that's all they did. Let's make sure the screws fit. That'll let us know if we need to change the screw holes or not. It looks like the screw should clear. Bottom one went in. It's doing its auto level right now.
Now chat gets even more peels. Some peel ASMR.
The screw holes are slightly different. Is it going to go in? Let's see. I might need to make a slight screw hole revision because I'm just trying to see if this will catch. I'm making sure I line it up. It's hard to see because it's so dark in the printer. This needs to go down a little bit. I think I need to take a little more off the bottom to make it sit just slightly lower.
I will be right back. Amazon has arrived.
No. Let's see. Yeah, I need to take a little more off the bottom. So I'm glad the customer gave us good information. A lot of times, if customers give us info and it's very wrong because they did something wrong. In this case, this guy actually knew what he was talking about, which I appreciate. I just had a ticket where I spent some time chasing down a thing that he said there was a bug when, spoiler alert, there was no bug. All right. Okay, she's printing. I'm going to open the door in a sec here. Now that I got it on there. Creality, why you got to be so difficult and make tiny little revisions that ultimately do not matter? Just makes it harder to make aftermarket stuff for your machines. Yeah, so literally I just filed those corners down just a little bit on the top and the bottom. I think maybe I took 1 millimeter of material off, if that. It is different enough so everything else fits. I think we're gonna have to pull that down in like maybe
Yeah, it looks like the
elongate
door's
screw
a
hole
little
bit.
a little bowed.
Yeah, it is a little bowed out here. So, and if I widen the screw holes, that'll fix it. Well, she's printing. I'll mess with the door later. It's chuchin'. Put this in the manual focus mode.
It's possible they changed it because the original doors were looser. It's hard to say because they won't tell us.
No. Their doors were loose. I don't think the stock doors were loose per se. Let's go. I'm going to turn my brightness down. I think it's blowing out the... Turn my fill light off on the camera. It's going. She's chooching. It's been actually printing for 2 minutes. It says it's got 13 minutes left.
Well, plenty of time to get the root stuff prepared.
Yeah. I'm going to take the door off here. I think I am going to elongate the holes a little bit. I think, though, with that, if we just make the holes slightly elongated, then, because you got the big screw heads, right? I think then we'll be good to use it on both machines. So I'm going to make the modifications to the physical panel I have here, and then make a design revision. Because it'd be nice to have one door that fits both instead of having to stock two different SKUs. It's kind of a pain in the ass, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we try to do. So basically, I got to elongate the holes inward on each side just so the screws can sit a tiny bit higher, which I think I have a tiny little... Do I have a small enough round file here? Barely. Barely. You know, let me see. I think I have some files in my drawer down here, because these are like ever so slightly too big. I can only get a little bit of it in there. I thought I had some smaller files in my drawer down here. So do I have? Is this round? It is round. It's round enough. She's printing. So ever so slightly elongated the hole on this. We'll see. I'm wondering if I only need to do it on one side, actually. So the weird thing is, why I thought these were going to work with the K1C as well as K1 Max is I saw people talking about how they put a K1C door or a K1 door on their K1C when it broke. So.
And those are glass, so you can't really modify them. So. Yeah.
Correct, unless the people modify their hinges or have a different revision, you know, we'll never know. But I'm going to see how. We'll pull this back here. I'm going to see how this fits now, because I might only need to elongate one of the holes. So let's see. So I elongated the bottom ones, and those line up like perfect now. The top ones, though, yeah, do need a little elongation. The sad part is, I don't even know if, because we bought this literally just to test fit the doors. Now that we needed another machine, I hope we can at least recoup our cost of the machine, because we don't get them for free. But if it's just this slight difference, then we would want to try to find the happy medium so it fits both of them. All right. Ever so elongated on both. Those line up good, and those line up good. It is, man, it's such a tiny difference. Look at this. This is how much of it, like, they just ever so slightly changed it.
Focus.
Well, it's on manual focus. Hang on, I'm trying to position the camera. Look at how much we're talking. That's it. You can barely even tell that they're elongated. That's the slight difference. And now the screw fits in. And it's not bowing out.
At least that's a super simple change to make in the file.
Yeah, but still, it's like, come on. Like, talking about that tiny little bit of a change. Yep. Bottom screws go right in. The top screw went right in. I just want to make sure that the screw head covers up the entire hole. It looks like it will, because once the screws are installed, you won't be able to tell that it's a slightly elongated hole behind said screw. Let's see.
No more bow?
No more bowing.
Beautiful.
Everything else fits.
Do those have the magnetic strips like the
no, it's actually on the you just move the
handle,
little door handle over, which hopefully that's the same. We'll find out in a sec here. Let me see. I'm just holding up. The door handle holes are exactly the same. I'm just holding up the OEM door. So yeah, we'll just have to make a V2 revision. Hang on, my buddy is calling me. But yeah, okay. So if you want a panel now, you just slightly file this down, like 1/2 mil on either end, and I just use a little file to open these holes up just a little bit. But yeah, we'll get a revision 2, and then it'll fit the K1 and the K1C. So if you want to add that to your to-do list, or like you saw how slight it was.
Hell, I have Fusion open right now. I can do it while you're rooting the machine.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do, though. I'm going to peel this, and I can show you guys how clear this is. Oh, I just realized I need to peel this off in the hinge corners before I put it on the printer here. Take it off one more time. I'm just going to peel it all off. Yeah, we have on this thing to peel it off after installing, because I don't want people like, I took it off and it got scratched and all this other stuff. So the proper way to do it, if you want to not risk dropping it and scratching it, would be to peel the corners back, like in the bamboo video. Just grab the protection paper here, peel it back so it's away from the hinge where it goes. So do it on both sides, because obviously the screw heads are going to catch the paper. Like that. And do that on the other side. All right. This is the easiest way to do it without completely peeling the paper off before you install it. Yeah, dude, this is such a slight change. It's ridiculous. Like with the paper peeled back, you can see how slight of a change it is. That's kind of annoying.
So only the top 2 holes need to be adjusted?
Both holes, both sets of holes, top and bottom, need to be elongated.
And they're going into the door, correct? So down on the top.
Yeah, so like this way. Look at this way.
Yeah.
All right. Tighten that down. Tighten that down. Tighten this guy down. All right. Wait, I should do it from the other side so it's more dramatic. Hang on, I'm going to peel the other side first. Then I'm going to peel the front off, revealing how clear the door is versus the stock one. And then I'll put the handle on it. So there's that. Ready? Ready? Holy crap, we can actually see inside the printer. Wow. Look at that. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. All right, let me move the handle over. It is a pretty loud printer though. It's just as loud as the K1.
No,
I find it funny how we went from people like being like super sensitive to just printers that are slightly loud to like these ones that literally sound like wind turbines. Like, remember how many people complain about how loud the CR10 was? The CR10 is silent compared to these things. So the reason we don't need to have the magnet strips on these is because the magnet strip is part of the door handle. So you just transfer it over from the old one.
Come on, Fusion. Let me do what I want to do.
You know Fusion doesn't go fast ever.
I know. I'm going to build a whole new PC. Nice.
It won't help. It will not help Fusion speeds. Fusion is slow on even my 5900X. It takes forever. Look at that. The handle fits. So just the slight revision on the screw holes for the hinges, and then pull the door in a little bit, and bada boom, bada bing, we got a K1C door. All right, ready? Look at that. The magnet's even in the same spot. Nemo got it. Stupid sexy Flanders. Feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Nothing at all. Yeah, I'm checking to see here. They do have this gasket on here, which I don't think is going to make much difference. You're talking about a tiny gap. But yeah, no, we're good. But you can do this and not have to worry about the door shattering. Oops, my name's Uncle Jesse, and I'm pushing it the wrong way. Nothing happens. Yeah, so there's our door. There's a stock one. That's with my fill light on too. So here, if I turn the fill light off. There we go. All right. Yeah, I'm just going to leave that on there. I'll have the first prototype, you know. We are printing PLA, so we want to leave this open. Or just take the top off. It's best to go topless when you're printing PLA. It does take its time. I see Wayne said a little while ago, sure takes its time to do ABL. Yeah, it does. The screen, though, isn't super responsive. Like, it didn't register that first touch. It's almost done. We're 16 minutes, and it's got 1 minute left. Should be almost done with the top of the benchy. And then it'll just do the smokestack. I think that's probably the last one for the top of the benchy. Yep. Now we're just doing the smokestack. And we do have the K1 Max. We will be doing a door for the K1 Max. Obviously, that one's a completely different door from this one. Look at, you can't hear, look at, there's with the door open. There's with the door closed. You can't really tell aside from the slight reflection there. There's really no difference in brightness. All right. She's done. Now it's presenting. It's so proud of its Benchy. It's now presenting it to us. Do the flex. There we go. And that's probably the only thing I'm going to print on that. Get the little bed plate into place. There we go. Got the easy flex into house. All right, let's see how this printed. Turn my fill light on. Why is my fill light not coming on? There it is. All right, let's see. You know, white is really hard to show imperfections on camera.
Well, that's why that's what they ship with all the printers.
I know, right? I will say, though, it is a good print. I got to kind of hold it at an angle for you guys to even see the layer lines, but they are very hard to see. Yeah, I'm impressed. I mean, I was impressed with the K1. Is this worth the extra money over the K1? I mean, I don't know. I got my K1 for $350. This one was like $600. I would still say, at least while the K1 is being sold, that's probably a better bet than get the camera because the K1 doesn't come with the camera. But I would imagine eventually the K2. I don't know if the K2 is going to come out or the K2. There's the K2 Plus, which we did finally get a pre-order, and that was a whole fiasco.
We'll talk about that tomorrow.
Yeah. I might, because we've been streaming for an hour, and I got a bunch of stuff to do because, you know, got the kid on the way this weekend. So I kind of want to do a proper video on the routing process. So if you guys want to see how to route the K1 or K1C, if you look at our Ender 3 V3 KE route video, it's basically the same process because it uses the same scripts. But what I want to do is I want to actually get our own scripts put together for it instead of using the third party, because again, you know, the third party, they update their stuff and then it renders the video out of date. So I might as well, oh, there goes the spool. I forgot about that. You know, it's already cooled down. All right, let me cut this off here. What was I saying? Oh, because they do an update and then it renders it useless. I also wanted to simplify it and like remove some of the options that like nobody uses. So basically it's just, hey, run this script and it just does everything for you, you know, and puts mainsail on there, Moonraker, like just does everything that your average person is going to need. Not have to think about what you're installing. You know what I mean?
Make it easy.
Hold up. This was under the printer. Did I take one of these out? This is not what I took out of the bed. This was not on the desk when I started this stream. There's a random screw that was just under the printer. I don't know what it's from. Because it's like this black one. We don't stock these kind of screws. Where did this come from?
Black oxide, yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. There's a random black screw. Don't know what it's from. Did it come out of the top? No, there's 4 screws in the top for the little... I don't know where that came from. Well, shit. It doesn't look like one they would have on the back. These are all the countersunk ones. Alrighty then. Kegel, yeah, I did a stream because I was bitching about their pre-order process. I'm pretty sure there's no way for me. So wait, sorry, before I get off topic here. I am opening the bottom so we can take a peek at the electronics. That's what I'm doing right now. So, but in regards to the K2, I think they were doing some janky type, releasing like a small quantity at a time on the site. I don't know if they were doing that to try to build hype or if they did that to try to prevent their server from dying again like it did yesterday. But either way, I'm not very happy with their pre-order process. Now, unlike Soval, I do have, and you guys can make me eat my words later, they said it is coming out in September. They didn't say when, so sometime in September. But I do have faith that Creality will be able to
pump these out. They just
pump
got a
them
new
out.
factory as well. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure, from what
All right,
Sam Prentice was saying.
Let's see what's under here. So I'm gonna disconnect
Changlang
the
or
3-pin fan.
Creality?
Creality. You're going to see Creality and everything now. No more Changlang. However, this looks like exactly like the K1 board, which doesn't surprise me. I don't see why they would use different. Same Ingenic X200E. It's the same Creality knockoff PSU, which I'll give them credit. These knockoff ones are a lot better than the Changlangs they had. Still not a huge fan of them. I'd rather have a Meanwell, but I get it. They're cost cutting.
What is all that on the bearings? Yeah.
This looks like, you know how like super glue makes that white powder? These are fingerprints. So I have some Chinese guys' fingerprints or women. They typically, most of the assembly line.
Child.
Yeah, I see a lot of ladies on there. Those are definitely fingerprints on there because they probably super glued something there. I'm assuming maybe they glued the bearing. That's like super glue residue. It's not grease. That's definitely super glue residue. I'm wondering if they super glued these pins in here.
I do like the whole spring tensioning mechanism.
It is
like,
nice.
That's actually really helpful for a lot of people because it takes out having to.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the Creality K series and their new Ender 3 series. I did get to see, here I'm going to clean this off with some alcohol. I did get to see the Ender 3 V3, not the KERS, the Core XZ in person when we went to pick up the K1 Max, and it does look like a really nice printer. So their quality is getting back up there. It's like one of the good things Bamboo did to the market is everybody else had to step their game up.
Right.
Nor just releasing
Bamboo.
Ender 3. What's that?
What Bamboo did to the market.
Yeah. Sorry. What did I say?
Creality.
Oh, yeah. What Bamboo did to the market was they realized they have to start making nicer machines. However, the one thing I will say I'm not a fan of is how everything is going to proprietary stuff that's hard to replace.
Marantha. Well, good news. I just finished the edits for our door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll double check them in Fusion against the actual door. And then if they're matching up, I'll send those over to Wade and then we'll get those made. But yeah, I mean, they got crimp ferrules. Like, we finally see crimp ferrules on things. Everything's all neatly cable. This is actually silicone wire. That's nice. This is silicone wire too. I do like that. These are using DC beds, which is, in my opinion, I like that better than AC beds. Because the Bamboos are AC, but they're very low wattage.
They're AC. They're 220 AC beds that are spec'd so they can run on
either. Yeah, which means if you're like us in the US or Canada, where your voltage is 110, you get a really slow heating bed. So if you have a Bamboo X1 or P1, or actually any of them, because they're all AC beds, if you're in the US or Canada, your bed will take almost twice as long. It's not like completely, 1-to-1. But it'll take a lot longer than somebody in a country that's using 220 or 240 for their input.
Nero put in a 220 line in his garage to do, I think, for his Milo CNC. And he's like, wait, let me test this. And he put it on the 220. It has the switching power supply, so it was fine. And it was like just instant for swapping or going up in heat for the bed. Sloping, less talk over time. Yeah. I'd still much rather have a thicker bed that heats up quick.
Nothing will heat up as quick as that 3,000 watt 240 bed I had in here on that Optimus P1 I built.
True.
That printer was a monster. I literally had to open my panel up and temporarily run a 220 line to that printer so I could test the bed. I actually used our solid state relays to control it, and they did just fine on that 3,000 watt.
If you're Soval, you just put a super thin PCB bed. That's
yeah,
and have it spec'd at over 1,000 watts.
All right. Overall, I mean, I like it. I don't know if I like it. Like, I think let's look at the price now, because I think when I looked up before the stream, it was like, I'm typing, hang on, store.creality.com. Let me share this tab here. Let's see what the difference is if they still have the K1 as well. So the K1C is $459 on here. It's $599 on Amazon right now. So it is cheaper on Creality's. Do they even still have the K1, the regular K1? They do. So $399 versus $450.
What's
At
a K1
it's the K1.
Yeah.
I would say at the price at $459 versus $399, the K1C would be worth the extra money. But if we go to like,
yeah, because you get all
Amazon,
the upgrades and everything.
Why am I getting this? I'm not on a VPN. So the K1C is $599 on Amazon. The K1's $519, so their prices are higher than directly through Creality. So given this price difference, so $399 versus $459, I'd say the K1C is a better deal. The K1's still a solid printer. If you can get the K1 for $300, like $350 or less, I would say the K1 is definitely worth that. And then you just buy their camera. So they have like, where is it? Upgrade kit. Yeah, here. So the AI camera for the K1 Max is $25. That's really the main thing. So if you can get a K1 for like $350 or less, I'd say grab the K1. K1C, if these are your only two options, $399 versus $459, I think the K1C would be a better buy because it does have a better extruder revision on it. Supposedly, I'm just going off of what I've looked up and seen about it. I know it's got a slightly better hot end design because it's got their quick swap nozzle here. And then I believe it comes with, doesn't it come with a yeah, it's a steel nozzle. So if we're talking a $60 difference, I think the K1C is a better buy. K1C also went back to standard stepper motors. The K1 has standard stepper motors too. I don't know what you're thinking about. You might be thinking about the Bamboo. Bamboo has weird motors, like not standard stepper motors. They look like them, but they do something weird. They don't actually have stepper drivers. I think they just have a
I think it's only
like
the K2 that did the closed
yes, loop. So the K2 has a closed loop.
And a heated chamber, which is...
Yeah, so
nice
the K2 has a closed loop motors, FOC closed loop motors. I wonder what that is. Is that a brand? Are these like Arduino motors?
I wonder how they're doing it, because I know on the Magneto, the closed loop, closed loop
FOC,
steppers.
It's probably just standard stepper with an add-on is what I'm willing to bet.
Yeah.
So either way, I still really like the K1, the K1C. If I didn't like them, I probably wouldn't be buying them just for the sake of doing upgrades, because we will actually use these. Yeah, the K1 motors are very they have standard stepper motors. You can't really see in their videos or their photos or videos, but you can see it in our what's it called? You can see it in our video we did on the last one. So it looks like they take the same control board. The screen looks very similar. I would assume the screen's probably the same. I guess just a slight revision, literally a slight revision to the door.
FOC is field-oriented control.
Okay. Yeah. No, they're nice. I'm glad that the door is a simple revision. So there we go. I wish I had a laser big enough to just run these back through and modify the ones we have now.
Right.
The gear is larger instead of a standard tooth pulley. Yeah, so I know they have a slightly different extruder. Now, with the new extruder on my K1, it has been fine. I haven't had any failures to feed. I haven't had any disengagement with the locking lever like I did with the original one. It's been good. So, yeah.
Wait, do you have to have a special... Do you have to use their slicer so it actually uses that little nozzle brush and crap?
I sliced No, that's going to be a one of the starting or the macros. I was trying to think of the clever name for it. It's going to be one of the macros. I'm going to see, since obviously like I don't like these beds. I'm going to see if I can pull this off. I'm surprised. Yeah, this is just double stick tape down here. So it's literally just double stick tape down here. So you could put it on another plate. Personally, I'm fine with what it does on the K1, which is where it just puts the nozzle back here and just
like the bamboos where it just wipes it on the plate until it damages.
Yeah. I think this is a little extra, to be honest. I don't really care about that. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm not a fan of these. Like, even the bamboo ones, like these weird, like smooth coating. Like this is like a sticker that goes on here. I actually got a sample. One of the plate suppliers that we were messing with, they sent me this same kind of material that's stuck to a plate. And the thing is, you have to use glue on it. Whereas like with our plates, the EasyFlex Pros, you can use glue on it, but most materials will stick without any glue. So yeah.
I'm actually building a wiper for my boron right now. I had to modify it.
Yeah. Yeah, just shove those all up into the heater wires.
No, I'm setting up the macro, so I'm making sure it doesn't do that.
It'll work great until it doesn't.
True.
Oh, Tor, your video froze. Oh, there it goes. It's back. Is that your Trident printing?
It is.
Wow.
It's all fanciness. I still have some stuff to do. I'm waiting for panels.
I was going to say, are you waiting? Yeah, so Tor, Derek Cirillo sent that to Tor. And turns out, what was it? Did he get the kit from Printed Solid, you said?
Yeah. This one is too wide.
They said the wrong parts.
Like it's so if I line this up, because it's a cube, so all these are going to be the same.
Yeah.
So it's like
so one of the panels were too
20
wide.
mil too wide, and there's no top panel. Also, I would take it off, but this is another back panel that's too short.
And you're using it as the top right now?
I'm using it as the top because it just fits. Or here.
Just barely.
Take the.
That's funny.
Like it's printing great. Like this is a full bed print that I'm doing right now. And
yeah.
It's like a little grid hex wall thing, and it's doing great. It took me some time to get all the macros customized and set up.
How long did it take you? Oh yeah. How did they mess that up?
Much too short.
How did they mess that up?
I have no idea.
That's a pretty big oops.
Right? Not one, but two panels that were wrong.
Yeah. Truggy said he sent me a picture in Discord. Hang on. Yeah.
But yeah, I got the tap set up. Got the macros customized for sensorless homing. I only have one wire going from the tool head down to the board.
Hang on, this is what is this, Truggy? Sent a pic, and they use larger ones like on the Micron Z motors.
Oh, the gear?
It looks the same though. Hang on.
Are they fixing? No, this was sent to me by the one of our customers.
Oh, you're talking about the pulley. They changed the pulley size.
Yeah.
Because the motors look basically the same. Hang on. But their pulley size is smaller. I wonder why they did that. So hang on. I'm going to zoom in.
This was an older kit that he had. This is like one of the revision A's. So he's like, I'm not going to bother him about it. I just bought my own panels from Mandela Rosework, which is one of our suppliers.
So here, that's the...
Wait, is that top retained?
Yeah, it
like
is.
The top of the stepper?
Oh, yeah, the top of the other one is retained too. But yeah, so they use a smaller driver. It looks like the same mechanism though, for the most part. Maybe slightly different, but like here's the K1. Here's the K1, and here's the K1 Max. They're still the same size. It's still the same size stepper motors though. They look very
the stepper motors are the same. It's the pulley gears that are different.
So why would they go down in size? That's weird. Because you would end up having, if you're going down in size, you would have more more steps. No, less steps per millimeter. My brain can't math. Yeah, so that's the motor. So there are small differences. I still think they both print great.
I'm gonna be
I
really
do like
sad
my
if
K1.
pulling off the top just ruined this print.
Oh, is it ABS or ASA?
Yeah, it's ABS.
Yeah, I find it funny.
Oh, also, I have 3 side panels instead of a top. So technically 4 wrong or 3 wrong panels? So I can't have like the exhaust and the filament path correct on it.
I totally forgot that my Discord updated and it did it's in the uwu mode. Just like it's
yeah, I've been having people turn that on without telling them
like,
what it is.
I'm like, wait,
good luck.
what? I was like, oh, that's what it is. Okay, I mean, so like I said, if you can get here's the idea. If you're thinking about the K1, I do think the K1 is a good machine. But if you can get the K1 for $350 or less, I think it's a good buy at that. If you're like, we're comparing Creality's current pricing as of recording this video, which is $399 for the K1 or $459 for the K1C, I'd say go for the K1C just because it comes with the camera, it comes with the better nozzle, and it also comes with the newer extruder revision. Those are the 2 things that matter to me. I could care less about the carbon filter. I can care less about the pulley changes on the XY. They're running the same screen and the same control board, so you're not really gaining any benefit there in terms of how fast it can move. It's still the same crappy Ingenic X200E or E200X. I can't remember what it is, but it's like 2000. So it's still using the same anemic ARM processor to run everything for what would be the SBC. I know you can root it, which is good. So both can be rooted. You know, it's up to you. Make your decision. If you're going to be changing your hot end setup anyways, and you can get a K1 for cheaper, then go with the K1. But either way, I mean, for what you get in the printer, this is a Core XY for under $500. That's really hard to argue with. So, like, even with its shortcomings, did you get your new panel yet, Tori? It doesn't look like you got your new panel yet.
Monday it arrives.
Monday. So, yeah. All right. Well, I mean, our doors don't fit yet, but we will have revisions. However, if you're watching
door revision's already done.
Yeah. I mean, however, if you're watching this and you don't mind doing what I do, a little mod, then we have them. But we will have a K1C revision probably in about 2 weeks or so, maybe sooner. It depends. Next week's going to be weird because we're going to have a kid now. So
the baby's coming, yeah.
Yeah. She's impatient. She wants out, okay? I mean, sounds like my kid.
True.
Hey, the only time my mom jokes, the only time I was early for anything is when I was born, because I was a month early. Like, and that happened all on its own. Apparently, her water broke a month early, so that was probably. I'm sure that was
probably messing with things and poked it.
Yeah, like, what is this?
A bit nuts. Yeah, I saw we're going to be talking about the FL Sun S1 tomorrow.
Okay, what happened? What happened with that? Or is that just a hot printer?
It's a hot new printer that was just released.
Is it a Delta?
It is a Delta. It's FL Sun.
They just refuse to let Deltas die, do they? I never liked Deltas.
A special place in my heart for Deltas because FL Sun, because FL Sun was my first printer.
Yeah, I've just never been a fan of them because of the fact that they're very. Oh my God! Sorry, I'm yawning.
I haven't
had enough caffeine. Yeah, they're very finicky. They're much harder to troubleshoot. And like just looking.
That's where I learned to troubleshoot printers.
I know, right? I had a Anycubic. I can't remember what it was, but it had the Tri-Gorilla board in it. But like, I'm looking here. So like, the big thing that I don't like about them is I don't print a lot of round objects. Most of my stuff is like square. So like, they're like, oh, this is a 300 round bed. Well, you cannot fit as much stuff on a 300 round bed as you can fit on a 300 by 300 square bed.
You'll see this thing tomorrow. It's massive.
I mean, I'm just looking on their site. The V400 is $850. And
it's the FL7 S1 that we're going to be
yeah,
looking
no,
at.
I see the S1 here too. That one is almost $1,500. It's on sale right now. I think this is a pre-order, or kind of pre-order. It says it'll ship by June 25th. It's $1,300.
It has all the bells and whistles. So
this is a 320 by 320 by 430, but that's a round build plate. I don't know why they're saying 320 by 320 because it's
it's 320 by whatever.
So, but 320 round versus 320 squared, you don't have as much build area on a 320 round as a 320 squared. Like, so if you're printing helmets, maybe I guess it's good, but I print a lot of square and rectangular items. So,
well, I know Mitch, the dude who goes around with a backpack printer.
Yeah, he had a king rune last time.
Yeah, he had
a king rune last time. He's been cheating on his deltas. So, yeah, that's about it. So, yeah, anybody got any more questions before we wrap things up? Anybody?
Bueller. All righty.
I got some guy complaining that he doesn't want to pay $100 for custom firmware for his weird printer. Sorry, bud. I'm not doing it for free or like nothing.
Yeah.
Not something I need to do. Some machine that's like end of life. It's got an MKS Robin board, so it's going to need a lot of tweaking and tuning. I told him like 2 to 3 hours, probably more closer to 2, but either way, it's our billable hour.
Yeah, it's sitting on a remote call for multiple hours, setting up the firmware, flashing.
Yep. Testing. Okay, does this axis move the right way? Do we got the steps per millimeter right? Do we got the extruder going the right direction and the right steps? Like, basically, we have no existing source code, so we're starting from scratch, which takes at least an hour and a half to 2 hours on a basic machine just to make sure everything is right. So, Lasso said I need something to print big, tall cylinders. Then a delta should be in your sights. I know exactly what you're going to try to print. But anyways, before the stream gets too far off the rails, I appreciate you guys watching. I hope this was informative. And as always, happy printing. Talk to you guys later.
Have a good one.
Let's see if it'll actually end the stream this time, because it's done that twice to us.